Hello, everyone. Welcome to this great episode of Global Sassitude. And I'm Pauline, financial wellness mentor.
Hi everyone, my name is Shirley and I'm a beauty business coach.
Hi everyone, my name's Lisa and I help women to recreate, rise and roar beyond divorce or loss.
Hi, everyone. Yes, we have been talking about quite a number of topics, and I hope you are following our Global Sassitude. And we talk about topics ranging from business, financial leadership, family, relationship, because each and every one of us, as women, especially, we are not just doing one thing. We manage multitasks. Like for me, I personally have got two children, all adults, and I need to take care of family. I used to be a business owner running listed companies. And also, I need to take care of my own health because I'm also going to this phase, what I term as perimenopause. And then as women, as we reach 50, it's going to be like menopause stage. So there are a lot of changes that we face, not just women, I believe, men as well. We are not going to miss you out. But not only men, women, I think all ages, we do have changes in our lives, be it when we were born, coming to this world, going to school at the start of the kindergarten, we face changes. And also as we grow up, the puberty, then we start with relationship, schoolwork, going out to the workforce, setting up families, etc., etc., etc. So much changes in our lives, and every change also presents growth for individuals. And especially in this world right now, where we are facing with technology changes. In the past, we are talking about new economy. We are talking about technology.com. Now, even we are talking about AI. So this is the key thing right now, AI. So today, our topic is going to be embracing change and seizing opportunities for growth. I love it. I love changes because I know one thing. Change is the only constant in life. And with every change comes with opportunities. And today we have Lisa and Shirley also together with us. And probably as I ask this question, Lisa and Shirley, you might just want to do a little bit of an introduction to our audience as well, because I'm from Singapore and they are from different parts of the world. So maybe let me start with Shirley. So when we talk about change, what is your take about handling changes as individuals?
My name is Shirley and I'm originally from South Africa and I'm living now in New Zealand. A massive change that has occurred in culture. So when we decided to actually move to New Zealand, we never realized, and not realized, I think we never took in consideration the culture change. But it is the best thing that ever happened to us, is to get out of a comfort zone where you have daily habits, daily routines, do things consistently the same way that you're so used to. And coming here, people doing it absolutely 100% different. This actually helped us to get some more momentum in life. I want to say, going through this change from moving from South Africa to New Zealand, it opened up. We actually realized that we were living very isolated. So we were very isolated. And you think isolated because you've got your daily things, your daily routines. Come here and they do it completely differently. So it opens up a new eye. I said to Watney, it's as if I realized a lot of people have spoken about a third eye. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but it's literally as if I could see things differently. I could see things just more clear. So I honestly think change is very, very good. I embrace change. I always say to people, I spoke to someone just before this call and she's going through a massive change. And I said to her, I know you might not see it now, and I know it might be scary and you're going through a really hard, difficult situation. But oh my gosh, when you get to the other side, it's beautiful there. So yeah, I love changes.
Yeah, thank you, Shirley. I do agree, really. Like, I think, I'm not sure though. I thought change is inevitable in life. As I mentioned, change is the only constant. And so that's why since young, I've been embracing change, although I agree with Shirley, it is uncomfortable. And to many of you out there, probably you are saying, if I can, I do not want changes in my life. I'm so comfortable with what I have. Why must I change? Right? So let me then put it to Lisa. Maybe you have another take. What is your take about changes for individuals? Maybe you want to let us know, because I know recently you have been through another big change in your life. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm from Sydney in Australia. Change, I always like change. I never change the way I look, though. I've had the same hairstyle for many years, so I don't change that. But I tend to change everything else. But if you look at change, say professionally and personally, I have worked for government for many years. And of course, government changes when there's a change of government. So it's all new policies, procedures, and there might be some new leaders. There's ways of working changes. And I've worked in, the organisations were all large, and working with many people, I see a lot of them don't embrace change. And I guess my advice is, or not advice, my thoughts on not embracing change. You need to choose to change, especially in, say, a big organisation where change is forced on you. Choose to change and accept it, and know that on the other side, it's whatever's coming is meant for you, but also don't listen to the noise. That's what I found in a big organisation. People listen to the noise of others' negativities, and that really stops some people accepting the change. But more in a personal point of view. So if you've watched other episodes, you'll see that I did go through a divorce, and that it was forced on me, change in my life, which I didn't like. But 5.5 years on, I wouldn't be sitting here with lovely Pauline and Shirley doing this talk. And at first the change was, wow, how am I going to do this change? But then I chose to accept the change and know that what will come is meant to come. And what has come is just amazing, a new life. And I think when you're younger, you spoke about change, about say from childhood, from school through to puberty. You kind of don't think of it as change. You just accept that it's what goes on. And then as you get older, you can analyse it a bit. But my little take for you today is choose to change, block out the noise, and know that something different's coming and it's going to be good.
Yeah, I love it. I love the last part. Know that something that's coming is got to be good. And you've got to believe in that. I know it's not easy to say that, well, there are sometimes changes. It's like, I think it didn't come out well. I mean, certain changes are not good changes. For example, like the passing of a loved one. Yeah, I know that's like part and parcel of life that we have to really take it as we grow up, right? We didn't want that. Or things like losing of a job, like Lisa was saying, probably the breakdown of marriages. Nah, nobody want that. But the three of us, Shirley, me, and Lisa, we face this. Yeah. It's not that we want to come together to have this. It's just that we have worked through our marriages, but it just didn't work out. And somehow, like Shirley and me, now we find our second half and things are working out well. See, so I always tell my partner as well that I thank my previous partner because of him. I have that learning lesson to be a better partner to my other spouse, right? So you see, it's all about how we think and how we see all of these opportunities, as we say, embracing the change would have the growth in it. We learn from it, which is why I'm saying in my life, I never would say that there's failure. I would always say there's learning opportunities. Anything that probably did not go well would be a growth opportunity for us. And this is where I would like to ask the ladies over here, because now that we are going into the second half of 2025 and we are looking at so much of the opportunities with all these changes that's coming up in whether private life, in our private lives, or in the professional arena, or maybe in the macro environment, even weather changes, right? Maybe a form of an opportunity, So what are some of the overlooked opportunities for personal development that arise in the mid-year that you find that, wow, these are kind of like the opportunities that it seems to be overlooked? Any take on that? Let me start out with Shirley.
Thank you so much. I feel the same as what I feel like in my business life. And I normally say this to my beauty therapist, that we go in our life, we've just said it, we go through seasons. We just didn't label it, but we go through seasons in our life where change happens all the time. We have to evolve. We have to, think differently, be bigger, be different. And I not very long ago, a couple of months ago, came in direct contact with my past, where I actually found out that my ex-husband lives a few houses away from me in the same street. And we didn't end our relationship brilliantly when we did end it 18 years ago. But now I drive past him and I see him and I think, wow, how much I've actually grown and how much I've evolved, And there was a moment, and I actually spoke to my husband about this, my current husband. I said to him, I don't enjoy seeing him every day or driving past him every day. But the fact that I've grown so much and that I'm so much stronger than I was, because when I look at him, I remember who I were back then. So I want to say, your life as seasons, and we are going to go through good and really terrible moments in our life. But exactly what Lisa said is, I learned through that husband or through that experience. Sorry, actually, Pauline, you said it. We learned through that experience to be a different person, to appreciate. Because if I didn't go through that situation, I wouldn't have been able to appreciate this situation. So my take would be, enjoy the seasons. And if you are going through an up and down, or if you're going through an unideal situation at the moment, just embrace it. Just honestly, it's sometimes difficult. It's difficult, especially if you're in the situation and it's not a great situation. But the worst thing that we always do is we go to the negative and go and write down. We've got tools. I've got this nail file, and I can use this nail file to shape my nail. We've got tools that we can use every day. A pen, a paper, a journal, writing that down. Because what I did, I never wanted to go back to the past, but I did. When I saw my ex-husband, I actually got a bit of a shock, first of all. And then I went back to my journals that I wrote 18 years ago. I was so sad. And today I'm really, really happy. So the past sometimes leaves us clues. So we don't have to fall back in traps or cycles that we used to be in, but we need to use the tools that we've got today, like writing down and moving forward from what has happened or what is currently happening, and just seeing it as a season that's going to pass.
Yeah, I like it actually. You have this thing about journaling. And you mean you still keep your journals after 18 years?
I do.
That's so sweet of you. Yeah. That you look back at the journals and now looking back, you see that, wow, how much I've grown. And this is one of the, I would say, overlooked opportunities that many people didn't really journal down what and or do their reflections. And this is something that I learned over the years. I have this habit as well of every day writing down my gratitude. I normally start off like early in the morning, what I'm grateful for the day, right? And of course, certain things that happened probably the previous day, right? What I will do is I will write it, and I only write the gratitude of it. Yeah, which is the positive side of it. So this is where I would say is an overlooked opportunities that anything, probably whether it's good or bad, I would never always say that it's going to be bad, right? So just make sure that we see that what are the opportunities out there. Of course, if you want to say anything negatively, it will all turn out negative, right? Even a positive opportunity, like for example, I did have the situation where, there are times where somebody praised me. Being Asians, we kind of like are not very good at handling praises. So when people will say like, you look gorgeous and you're so beautiful, such good words, we will tend to think, all right, this is just like, anyone who just want to probably make me feel good. They don't really mean it. Like, that's what we are thinking. I would say, okay, thank you very much. No, but we don't really mean it. But when right now, people would say things to me like that, I would say, wow, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, whether the person really mean it or not, I'll just take it. At least the person take the effort to say something good to me. So this is where a lot of times I would say take it as any change would be opportunities of an end. Some of the overlooked opportunities that I get from Shirley, which I have my own take as well, is a opportunity for learning. So this is one of the overlooked opportunities that many of us would actually see. That's the first overlooked one. And second of the overlooked opportunity is if somebody, there's actually a change, it is actually a chance for us to see what are the needs out there that's missing. So basically, when there is a change, it's due to a need. That's where the opportunity arises. So, not like, for example, when Trump, the big thing about the world right now, is things like when he talk about tariffs, he's going to implement tariffs, things like that. Oh, so we will need to take a look with the tariffs. What are the opportunities out there for people? Well, yes, probably inflation is going to go up. Things are getting more expensive. But with that, shouldn't it be an opportunity to take a look? Where are the opportunities where I can help people with managing the cost of living? Can I source for something that is cheaper in nature, that won't be affected that much from the tariffs? This is where they overlook opportunities. And another one would be AI that we are looking at in terms of the changes. There's a big thing out there. It's like a lot of jobs would be gone, and people are worried, right? When we talk about AI. But the overlooked opportunities would be, how about me right now looking at how I can make use of AI to make my work better? So AI will not replace this thing in terms of let's say our brains, our human nature to adapt to changes. Anything that's in technology is an enabling tool to me, right? So probably AI, you might have a different take to say, no, it's not going to be an enabling tool anymore. It will just take over all our jobs and everything. But definitely by taking over some of the jobs, it will create more other jobs. It's just like, I always remember this thing on the ATM. When ATM was first implemented, the bank tellers thought they are going to lose their jobs. There won't be any more bank tellers. But no, until today, 30, 40 years after the ATMs are in place, we still use the ATM. We even have internet bankings, but the banks are still recruiting bank tellers. Why? Because the tellers are now taking on a different role. Yes. So that's where I want to put on to Lisa for another question that I always have, because you just changed to a new career goal. So this one will affect quite a number of people. Like, for example, if there's AI coming in, how do I manage my own personal career path? So Lisa, maybe you want to probably talk a little bit about the professional sense. If there are changes coming up, how can individuals help themselves, be it in personal development or be it in career side, how to help ourselves in terms of this change?
Thank you, Pauline. But if I go back to Shirley, I loved your analogy of the nail file and
Thank you.
the changing and creating. That was really good. But yeah, thank you, Pauline. Upskilling and changing. So I'm learning. You mentioned about learning. I've just, whilst I have gone left up in the corporate world to go into my own business, I wanted to just backtrack to what I wanted to mention about learning and upskilling. So I've worked for an education institution for 8 years prior to leaving to start my own business. And they always work, it's the largest one in the Southern Hemisphere, adult education institution. And they have 2 semesters. So going to the second semester, you can actually go and start a new course in the middle of the year. So if people are wanting to change and upskill, it's a perfect time. And a lot of places are the same, not just this institution, but across, say, Australia, and I'm sure where you're from, across Singapore and New Zealand. If you've sort of got to the middle of the year and you've gone, hang on, I didn't achieve my goals, or I'm ready for change, look at the opportunities of what learning and education is coming out for you to do starting mid-year. It might also be a few years ago, I decided out of the blue, I want to be a yoga teacher. And all I did was research, found the best educator, and I went and became a yoga teacher. So there's lots of opportunities for you. And AI, I actually caught up with a friend at school yesterday. It was a random meeting and we got to chatting, and she was talking about AI, that she actually feels a bit nervous about AI. But when I look at AI, I think it's exciting, and the changes, Pauline mentioned the ATM. I hate to admit my age, but I can remember when we were called into the office to be shown the change, and that was a computer coming onto everyone's desk. So change is all opportunity. AI is no different to your ATMs, and it's no different to the computer, because when the computer come in, the typist, we used to sit and write letters and the typist would type them. It's no different. It will evolve, it will change. And I only see positive opportunities for it. So if you've been sitting in the middle of winter in Australia, and New Zealand, you're cold as well, thinking, What opportunities are there? Go and upskill. Get into AI, learn more about AI. Google every day, but go onto YouTube every day and Google changes to AI. Keep abreast of them and see how it can suit you. Don't let this AI, it's an opportunity not to let go by. So back to you, Pauline.
Yes, it is definitely not something we just have to embrace it. I think the whole idea of it that Lisa is saying is embrace it and learn what it is about rather than worrying about it and thinking what I'm going to do and I'm really feeling nervous. You know it's coming, right? And you know, no matter what, stopping it, right? And saying, no, we're not going to have AI at all. It's not going to help. Right. You can see a lot of changes are coming to place. Like in the past, I know when anyone is going to lose their job, what is the next job that a lot of people went into is taxi driving, cab drivers. Now it's being a Uber driver, right? But you know what? The robo taxis came up by Tesla and this Waymo that is by Google. It's actually coming up, which means we are no longer having people to drive us. I mean, the change is coming up. Even if you know how to drive yourself, I would just be a Uber driver if I don't have a job because I'm sorry. 5 years down the road, I think all the robo taxis and the electrical cars are going to take over, right? We don't even need a driver. I'm waiting for the time that I don't need to drive a car. The
Oh my
car will
gosh,
drive
yes.
by itself.
That's got a chauffeur.
Yeah, yes. It's like I'm not sure whether anyone of you, if you have a chance, you are in the US, had a chance to take this ride of this Google robotaxi, which is called Waymo, and it is so cool. Yes, it's like no one is driving at the driver's seat beside me, and the steering wheel will just turn by
Oh my
itself.
gosh.
I didn't
Right.
know that it
So
existed.
yes, okay. It kind of like feel like a ghost like sitting next to me driving the car.
Yeah. But I
Yes,
remember,
because I can see
sorry for
this.
interrupting you, Pauline, but I remember it's the same with my hairdresser. So we had this arrangement. She'll come to me and then we do nails and hair and we have just whole day for ourselves. And then she came here and she was quite pale. And I said to her, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Do you know what? No one drove this car. Like he was sitting in the passenger seat and this Tesla was driving itself." And I'm like, "No, you're lying." And she's like, "No, legit, my friend." And we just had a little chuckle
Yes.
about it. But she said she felt so uncomfortable and she didn't feel safe. So yeah, I know it's actually quite funny how it's, but I can't wait to drive in a car that will drive me everywhere.
Yes. In fact, it will be safer. All right. Because it's definitely safer because they do a lot of checking. Of course, sometimes you might be worried that what if the system breaks down? You know, it's just like human beings. Human beings break down as well. That's why there are accidents too. You know, human beings fall asleep
But I mean,
sometimes when
isn't
they are
our
driving.
vehicles
Or
already, programmed that way? Because I mean, if I drive on the motorway, I never, handle the pedals. I always put it on. What is that? What do you call it? To drive or to?
auto
Yeah,
drive?
auto drive. And it does
Yeah,
its thing.
the auto
So
drive.
I
The auto
set the
drive.
distance and it brakes and it drives and it starts and it goes. I love it.
Yes. Actually, I didn't really like it when it auto brakes for me, you know, sometimes.
Yeah, because it does brake very instantly, but you get used to it.
Precisely. Yeah. But at least it's safe, right? So this is where we are embracing the change that's coming along. So now, this is one thing. If we want to manage change, maybe Lisa and Shirley, give me a phrase or a word to end this off to say, what is that one word or phrase that would come to your mind that would help us? Maybe like Shirley first. Lisa?
Sorry, choose to embrace the change.
Choose to embrace the change. That means it's your choice,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. That's a powerful thing that we have a choice in our life, right? How about you, Shirley?
I think I will go with seasons because we go through seasons. Life go through seasons, and seasons is changes. So embrace it. So seasons.
All right. And for me, I would say opportunities. With every change comes with opportunities, and it will all turn out well. So thank you very much for joining us for this episode. And if you like what we share, remember to share, subscribe, and like our channel. And we will share more with you about changes, about growth, about leadership, and how we can have global Sassitude. See you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.